Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we are going to take a look at the AMX AC-48 for the simple reason that it's a tank I didn't review for a while, and of course, as many of you will go for the Foch 155, you will have to play the thing. Is it good? Is it bad? Let's see. First, let's evacuate the main problem I have with this tank, and it's the number of weak spots it's holding. Of course, when you take a look at Foch 155, even if you do have those two cupolas at the front, they are armored enough for you not to count them as weak spots. It's not the case on the AMX AC-48, because here, well, it's going to be extremely easy to get penetrated. On top of that, there is this little part here that still got buffed last update, which is at least a good thing. But to be fair, the main problem is going to be this little fella right there. This one can be penetrable as well, specifically on those areas, because unlike the Foch 155, here it's a weak spot. You can effectively penetrate and do damage if you shoot here, whereas on the Foch it counts as spaced armor. You carry only 6 degrees of gun depression, which means that even if you are using it to the maximum, you are still going to be weak when it comes to the weak spots. At the same time, if people are not knowing about that and don't even try to shoot at your weak spots, let's say that you definitely are packing some armor. Well, more than 300 millimeters should do the job to stop any kind of shells. But the bright side of this is that when the tank is fully equipped, it is only weakness. I mean, the gun is definitely great, with a great gun dispersion sitting at 0.29, aiming time 3.7. It's still average, but it's gonna pass due to the gun dispersion. The damage per minute is good, 2.5 thousand. Reload time 9.3 seconds for a total of 400 alpha damage for 260 millimeters of penetration with your regular shell, 320 with your gold ones. For the top speed, it's always nice. It's a French tank goes fast, and this one is no exception. You will climb up to 50 kilometers per hour, which means that you can relocate quite easily. And to be fair, your mobility is going to be your great ally for one simple reason. And this reason is that it will allow you to relocate quite fast or take advanced position at the beginning of the game, which is something I would advise you to do as long as you keep getting some support. The main problem with such a tank is that you will not feel the mobility. What I mean by that is that sometimes you are going to go too far and you are going to realize it when it's too late. Whereas if you try to play middle aggressive positions like the one I'm currently playing, well, you should be able to sustain a little bit more on the battlefield. We're going to take a look at 2 replays in this review. The first one where we played the tank correctly, and the second one where we got a little bit trolled by the mobility, because I feel like it's important to show you what happens if you don't know how to deal with it. So basically what we are currently doing is trying to find a position from which we are on a flat ground. We only have 6 degrees of gun depression, and trust me, it's not enough to take the vast majority of little slopes, hill positions, etc., which are unfortunately the best position in this game. But it's not gonna stop us, boys. It's not going to stop us. So there we go, there's the WT. We managed to snipe a great shot in him thanks to our 0.29 gun dispersion. And now we are just waiting for their heavies to kind of do dumb things. It seems like the Type 68 really wanted to get a piece of that poor medium, and it's gonna cost him his life, but not a problem. Just take a look at what we're currently doing. You see that there is this AMX, right? I'm one of the few tanks in the game fast enough to be able to relocate within 5 or 6 seconds, snap my shell on the AMX, and straight be nervous enough to go on him and snap my shells. But here, you see what the main problem is, specifically when you are the main target of your opponents. You get penetrated in your weak spot all the time. But yeah, I mean, not a single tank in this game is perfect, or at least not a single tank should be perfect, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of logical that we face some troubles with the armor. Not a problem, you're gonna tell me, because as long as you are not the main target, you can throw the armor away. And this is exactly what we did in this game, and this is exactly what allowed us to get a good one. So there we go, there is still the WT and the VZ112, and now you see how crazy with adrenaline my reload time is. 7.8 seconds. The WT didn't try to shoot, the WZ didn't try, although he tried to shoot the bounce because he couldn't see my my cupolas, and now we only have to deal with the WT that will unfortunately die before we manage to make it. So in definitive, what you saw here is someone playing carefully with the tank destroyer. I did not try to push forward, I did not try to rush into enemies' positions. It's not what this tank is meant for. It's meant to be a support to your heavies. Of course, being a support doesn't mean that you need to stay in a camping position from your spawn, but you need to make sure not to be the first target of your opponents. And now we're gonna see what happens when you are the first target of your opponents. For this one, we are playing on Ellis, and as you can see, we are top tier. And obviously, when you are top tier, you tend to be a little bit more confident in your abilities. Oh boy, was I wrong. What's gonna happen is, I have 50 kilometers per hour. I told you that sometimes you can get trolled by the mobility, and it's exactly what happened. Here, to be honest with you, I recalled that at 7 AM, so I was kind of tired because I just woke up. And I realized that I was going the wrong way. And I said, nah, you know what? I went to the wrong way, but if you take a look at the map, my team is following me. I'm gonna deal with that, right? And yes, it's starting. There is the Juto, and as you can see, we are pulling some adrenaline. And it seems like at first, we are just gonna smack the life out of that Juto. Unfortunately, it's the problem at close range. It makes it easier to shoot at your weak spot, and that Juto is definitely not gonna miss any other shots. 2 on it, and unfortunately, as you do not have enough hit points, you get crushed because of it. I already lost half my hit points within the first minute of the game, which makes me in a kind of trouble. Yeah, it definitely makes me in trouble, but we're gonna try to defend ourselves. So there we go. Thanks to the great DPM that we have, we are probably gonna be able to sustain against the Yo. And oh boy, he also managed to snap some shells on me. So 2 minutes into the game, and I'm only at 200 hit points. We are gonna try to still play aggressively. I don't know why I had so much hope for this one. We snap a shell on the Skoda, and we died. We died because we got to be the main target of our opponents, and that the T-54 lightweight made some profit by circling us. And boom, just like that, we finish off the game, losing it, still doing a couple number of damage. 2.5k is definitely decent, but we could have done much more if I did not play that aggressive, and of course, if I was not the main target of my opponents. So to summarize, I've been hating on that tank for a very long time, at least before its update, before its buff. I thought that it was pretty bad. But now it seems like it's sustainable as long as you follow the steps I talked about through this video. Because obviously, with such massive weak spots, you are not a tank that is supposed to be first line. Once you understand that, and once you understand that your main ally is your gun and some distance between you and the opponents, you should be able to get an ace tanker quite easily. So hopefully you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. Tell me in the comments what next tank I should review, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.